Now, I'm going to start by going through a couple of very basic stuff, right? Talking a little bit more about how to understand my alerts because I still see quite a bit of people misunderstanding my alerts, and then of course in this sense losing money when you're not supposed to. I think when you lose money because of a trade that don't work out, that's fine. I think that's very normal because again, losses happen to trading. It's impossible for you to have a 100% win rate. But if you lose money because of a misunderstanding, then I don't think that should happen. I think it's a huge waste if that happens. So the key thing over here is to make sure that you don't um, misunderstand by understanding how the alerts work. All right. So I'm gonna go through that. So this is over here as you guys whatever you guys are seeing. Hold on a second. Okay. So this over here, whatever you guys are seeing, is a replay function, right? For you guys to back test or practice your strategies and whatnot, which I will be going through to show you guys, what the importance is for having a good trading setup, which I'll talk about right now. Now, as I'm going through all these with you guys, okay, if you guys have any questions, right, regarding your first week here or your first few days here, or any sort of questions as well, right, please write it down in the chat so that I can go through them. Okay. I will go through them one by one, of course. So please put them down as I'm going to go through the basic stuff over here. Okay. So now, of course, the server over here, when I created this server to kind of help people from different walks of life try to benefit themselves in the market, right? So we have a couple of channels to help you guys with that, right? Of course, we have the day trading channels, which is mine, Frankie, Tyrone. Tyrone is not really a day trade, but more like a swing/day trade, but it's not. It's mostly focused on super, super cheap stuff, right? Those with a really small account that wants to grow their account, right? But then of course, if let's say day trading is a little bit too quick for you, right? Because you guys are not able to keep up because of your day job and you guys are not able to pay attention, please do not force yourself to do so because you'll end up losing money instead. Okay, if your goal is to make money from day trading or is to learn how to day trade, you can do it with paper trading, or you can do it. You can learn day trading, but at least make some money from the swing trades as well. Because I much rather you learn without any risk involved than to learn and lose money just because you're not in a good environment to do so. So Diana does swings, right? Small cap swings for you guys. Of course, there's long-term investment, right? Please, guys, if you guys are going to invest into something long-term, the time horizon for this is probably going to be 1 year plus at least. Okay, you cannot expect this to have daily results, but you guys want things to be slow and simple, right? It's very contradicting, right? The statement is very contradicting. You cannot expect long-term investments to first off have quick results. Secondly, have you can't expect long-term investments to be present all the time. You can't expect opportunities to be present all the time, right? Because it's long-term. Okay, if you want quick results, if you want daily opportunities every single day, then that's what you're talking about is day trading, right? This one you have to at least come to terms with first, right? That's going to be day trading after already. Okay, but again, if you cannot keep up with day trading, couple of reasons. Because of your day job, number one. All right. Number two is because your setup isn't set up for day trading. So you might find it very difficult to keep up with just the alerts by itself. Or the third thing is, I think the most important thing is that you guys are not used to properly day trade. Buying and selling shares is not day trading. Okay? Right. Buying and selling shares is not day trading. So these three couple of reasons, obviously the first one, if you have a day job, that cannot be helped, right? So kind of pivot yourself to the other channels that was going to fit you better. Number two, if you don't have the right setup, then make sure to have the right setup, which I'll go through with you guys in a bit. And number three, if you're new to day trading, you're not able to keep up with the speed and the volatility, then you're only going to get better with time if you put time and effort to practice, right? If you don't, no matter how much time you spend over here, nothing's going to change. Okay. And then of course, further on, we have swings for again, people over here who cannot afford to keep up with the day trades. These are all longer term swings for you guys, right, which are less volatile to manage. And then, of course, we have the large cap day trades as well for those of you guys who prefer less volatile stocks to trade, right? These are mostly large cap, so you can't really afford a lot of shares on this, but the range of move that they do is there, so it's actually pretty decent. Okay, right? I'm not going to talk too much about options, right? I think I personally, for me, I think if you guys don't know how to day trade, you should not be touching options at all, right? Unless you guys know what you're doing. If you don't know how to day trade, if you're not good at it, if this is your first time day trading, you're not used to it, you should not be touching options because you can lose all your money when you do that. Okay, all right. Okay, so now I can't speak for the rest. And then of course this last one is going to be the pro trader feed. Now, for those of you guys who prefer day trading but less volatile, right? You guys prefer the slower pace stuff, please pay attention to Joyful Wood, right? He focuses more on like dips. So he doesn't really, so when you play with Joyful Wood, when you trade with Joyful Wood, don't expect my type of momentum plays, right? The stuff where you get in and sometimes this thing just pops quick and crazy and gets very exciting. Don't expect that. Okay, because Joyful would mostly focus on dips, right? So basically in that entire move where I gave you guys for Sky Q, right, that he probably didn't trade any of them on the initial move because that's not his style. Not saying it's bad, but it's different. But if that is what fits your style, please stick to that. He focuses more on dips, right? And whatnot, so that you guys can kind of play better, right? For those of you guys who cannot keep up with the speed. And then while at the same time, while you guys are making actual money over here, you can go over to my channel and practice with paper, right? To keep up the volatility and also the experience of day trading quickly, right? So pay attention to Joyful Wood if you guys want to day trade but are not used to the speed. When I first started day trading, I wasn't used to speed the quick stuff as well. I wasn't used to looking at 3, 4 different tickers at the same time. I wasn't used to trading 2 different tickers at the same time. All right, it comes with practice. Okay, I like to use real life analogy to explain my stuff so that you guys can understand better. Right, it's like sports. Right, I played basketball, so I won't get better just by looking, by watching videos, by reading guidebooks. I need to go down to the court and put in the work, right? And at first, it might be difficult, but if every single day I show up and I practice and I practice and practice, it will get easier. The execution part will get easier. You'll get used to it. It becomes muscle memory. Okay? Yeah? So these are not, you can't find any shortcuts over here. I'm not going to tell you guys that this is easy one. Only scammers will tell you guys that. I'm not going to tell you guys that, right? I'm trying to be real with you guys over here. So it's up to you guys whether you guys want to take it or not, but that's very important. Okay? All right. So I've gone through the channels already. If you guys have any questions again, please write in chat. I'll go through them after I'm done. Now, the next step is, of course, having the right broker. A lot of you guys over here are now. I'm not going to speak for their channels. I'm going to speak for my own channel. Okay, and I would say that for Joyful, you can trade if Joyful, if you day trade with him, you can use your phone because he focuses more on slower setup. So I think a phone is fine. But if you are going to follow me, right, 3 things. Okay, number 1, no phones. Okay, no phones. Number 2, only PC with the right trading setup, right? Okay, with the right trading broker. Okay, and number 3, I would highly, highly suggest you guys, right, have a screen open on my alert channel instead of waiting for notifications. Okay, sometimes if you wait for notifications, because again, remember there are a lot of people in this room. Sometimes when I alert something and price goes up, I have no control over it. Trust me, I want all of you guys to load into a stock over here before the price moves, but I don't control the price action. Okay? I'm only as good as when the market is hot. If the market slows down, all right, let's say, for example, from Monday to Friday, I'll be calling out 500% movers. And then when the market slows down, no matter how good I was last week, I'm not going to suddenly churn out 500% movers when the market's slow because I don't control the market. Right? I'll be able to be responsible and tell you guys, hey, we got to adapt, things are slow. We got to change things up a little bit, right? Focus on base hits. We can still find some wins here and there, but 500%, no. Okay, so something you guys have to understand. Yeah, I see a lot of people keep thinking that I can call out 500% plays nonstop. That's not how it works. Okay, right? All depends on the market. I just have a much better intuition in picking the right tickers to trade. Right? Obviously, I have my losses as well, but we keep them tight and we respect them. Okay, and the intuition comes with practice and years of experience too, of course. So these are the three things that you need to have. No phones. If you want to follow me, best case scenario, especially if you're new, no phones. Second thing is use a PC with the right day trading broker. Robinhood is not a day trading broker yet for me. Remember, buying and selling shares is not day trading, right? Third, have a screen open on my alert channel instead of waiting for notifications. So you can use your phone to have it open in my channel, right? And while you have a screen on PC for your day trades. Okay, all right. These are, I would say, the base criteria you're gonna need to have while you're trying to follow me with my day trades. Okay, if you cannot follow them, then please follow other channels. You can still make money from other channels. You just don't follow me because you're gonna end up losing money, not because the trade is bad, but because your execution is slow. And I don't think I don't think we should ever put ourselves in that position. Okay, and again, let me remind myself again, right? Some of the things about my channel. First off, usually because there are a lot of people following me, when I alert something, not the breakout plays. Breakout plays we're all adding at the same time. But if I tell you guys that I'm adding something and price goes up, I have no control over that, right? Because think of it like an auction house. Okay, if let's say I told you guys I bought shares, right? 500 shares. Okay, or I told you guys I bought shares at 375 and I have 500 of them. Okay, and I have 500 of them, right? So, sorry, not 500. Sorry, I bought 375 shares. And let's say in the system, right, in the market, there is 5,000 shares available priced at 375 for people to buy. Okay? So if I alert I bought 375 shares, maybe I bought 3,000 shares. All right. There are more than 2,000, or there are more than a couple of thousand people in this room. Maybe let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just say even like 300 people follow me over here. If each of them buy 100 shares, okay, that's going to be 3,000. So I myself, I bought 3,000 shares. Okay, and if let's say the room have 300 people, each of them bought 100 shares each, which sometimes there are some big whales over here. They might buy bigger, right? That's going to be another 3,000. Okay, there is going to be a couple of you that have to buy it higher because there's not enough supply for the demand. It's like an auction house, right? If there's 5,000 shares available at 375, right? If there's 5,000 shares available at 375, if the 6,000 shares being bought up, there's going to be 1,000 shares that is not filled at 375 because there isn't enough supply. Okay, so it's not like I cannot control the price movement. But again, I did tell you guys this before. I will never sell into the candle. I alert so that you guys are able to find your own dips and your entries after, even though it's a little bit slightly higher, right? Or sometimes it might even dip. You can get better entries, but at least start some first. Don't wait for dips first. Start some first. Okay. And number two, I try to look for bigger moves instead of like those very, very quick scalps and whatnot. Because I don't sell everything. I slowly trim on the way up. Okay? But most importantly, I don't sell on candle level. All right? Okay, so now for my channel, I typically have different ways on alerting. Okay? Now before, again, I want to say one thing, right? Before you guys do anything, before you guys start following the alert, before you guys start trading, especially if you're new to trading, right? As if you know yourselves, right? If you are one of those person over here that if you are one of those person over here that have lost money before in day trading, okay, right? Or rather in buying and selling shares and whatnot, whatever you thought that was day trading, what day trading is. If you guys have experienced losing money before because of bad execution, how you guys executed, coming into this room over here with the same execution, with the same mindset will not change anything. If you guys want to start by having, if you guys want to take the first step and change, please go all the way to this VIP onboarding channel, right? Please go all the way to this VIP onboarding channel over here and read from here. It's unknown. You click on it, it's fine. It's going to bring you to your right channels and stuff. Okay, right? And you are going to read through everything, right? And then basically get it all done, right? You have the right foundations and mindset and everything. You don't have to read this if you guys don't want to follow, right? But if you want to follow me, at least read this, this, and this. Right? There's 4 subsections. Please read all of them as well. Okay, I'm gonna go through them right now. I'm gonna go through them right now, but at least on your own end, if you don't know where to look, you wanna specifically just find how to understand breakout alerts, click on this, you'll be able to find it. All right, it's all pre-recorded before you guys before already. Okay. All right, see, look, this video here is where I'll explain how to approach your breakout alert in terms of your entries, where stop loss should be, so on and so forth. All right. Okay. So now let's go ahead and talk about the channels or how to follow my stuff. So I told you guys just now that you needed a day trading broker, and I'm going to show you guys an example with a live execution on a particular play that I was executed last week. I'm going to find one good example that we can use. Let's see, for example. Let me see. Hold on. Let's use AGPU. All right, let's use AGPU. Okay, so now before we move on to that, right, here are some of the things to look out for when you guys are following my channel. I color code my alerts. Green is generally buy alert. You still want to watch you want to read what's inside the post over here. Orange is an update. Whether is it what to look out for, what you guys need to do, so on and so forth. All right. And then when it's red, it means I am personally completely out of the position. All right. Whether is it red or whether it's the position is green or red, doesn't matter. Red just means that I no longer have shares in Renix. And if let's say there's another green trade over here again, it means that I'm waiting for this to break out, or I'm waiting for another trade setup because I'm no longer in. Sometimes I'll give you guys re-entries for those you guys are looking for re-entries, so those are the ones you want to be looking out for. Okay, so for Renix, for example, this is green, right? But it doesn't mean you buy immediately, you read what's inside. For AGPU, this is pretty self-explanatory, right? I told you guys that I'm adding this at 275. This is the plan. Fine. Okay. Now, secondly, the second thing over here is that for Renix, if I would say this is green in color, but if you read what's inside, it says 285 break. It means that I'm waiting for a breakout first before I take my entries. So I'm not in. I'm watching the 285 break. And I'll explain to you guys what does break means again later. And this is the stop loss plan. Now, all my stop loss are mental. So that means that I don't have a physical stop loss set. When I feel like, especially when you're day trading, whenever you guys are inside a trade, you have to manually watch the position, right? You have to manually buy, manually sell. Okay? So this is the position over here, this thing is manual, right? It's a manual stop loss. The only time I set a physical stop loss is if I use the word set. Then that's where I have a physical stop loss set. Otherwise, all these are mental, right? Of course, I will still respect them if it doesn't work out, right? But I'm just trying to let you guys know that it's mental. Don't set a physical stop loss because let's say if you have a stop loss over here, right? This is your stop loss area. Sometimes the candle may drop and then the buyers push back up and the candle closes above this line and you might get whipped out. Yeah, so it's all manual. Okay, but if there's heavy selling pressure on the level, I'll usually just cut. Right? But it's manual stop loss, it's mental stop loss, sorry, not physical. Only physical when I say the word set. Okay? Right? And I will usually tell you guys if I'm out, okay? But if I don't, it's because the trade is green. I do not expect you guys to need an update from me, right? Because you guys should have respected the plan that I updated anyway. Like for example, this one, I did not alert the amount for GV, but this is set in stone, right? I have a physical stop loss at 43 cents. GV went underneath that. How can I not get triggered? If I tell you guys I'm not triggered on that, then I'm bullshitting you guys, right? Which is not gonna be fair, because it's gonna be very difficult for you guys to follow my alerts after. Okay, so I may not update if I'm away and whatnot, and sometimes there are multiple plays that cover multiple days, right? And whatnot. I may not update them, but I'll probably give you guys the plan on what to do. And as I always say, once you're green on the trade, please don't give it back, right? Never ever let a green trade turn red. Okay, so these are some of the things over here. Again, you can see the plan's always given and whatnot. And two different types of entries for me is either I tell you guys where to look for dips with the stop loss plan, or where I'm adding, or whether I'm waiting for a breakout. Okay, so now for AGPU, this is a standard, I would say, breakout ending play. So we'll talk about that. And I want you guys to see why I say having a right broker setup is very important. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording for a bit. Is a typical setup, right, of how my trading station is going to look like, right? So I want you guys to look at how quick the execution is, especially when it comes to trading these names over here. Okay, so for let's say for this alert, okay, 275 at 10:42. So that's gonna happen soon. If we look at the timing over here, that's gonna happen soon, right? So I'm watching the chart, I'm watching the chart, I'm looking at how this is gonna play out, so on and so forth, right? And when I see a setup is there, all I have to do, because I already preset my values and everything set up, right? All I have to do is just press one button and it's going to fill my shares. Okay, so we'll just reenact this together, right? So I see a pullback to VWAP, I like the VWAP reclaim. You see how quick that is? Right? And you see this, it may be okay for certain slow cases. Right? It may be okay for certain slow cases where you might think, oh, it's okay with the phone, but some plays are pretty quick. Right? I'm gonna show you guys an example of a breakout in a bit. Okay, this is not really a breakout play, so it's fine, but I'm gonna show you guys an example of a breakout in a bit. So now that I have my position over here, right, I know what my plan is to have a stop loss at 250. I'm just watching it, right? I can preset my sell. I want to sell half first on the first pop, so be it. Okay, but imagine if you guys are using a phone over here. Okay, what you guys would do is you guys have to type the ticker out. You got to click on this. You got to set the amount of shares to buy, right? Set the price, press confirm and send. That's gonna come out confirmation dialog again. You press send. All these takes time. And sure, you may still be able to fill, but if on that very same moment your shares fill and the stock pops, you have to do the same thing for sell. And sometimes these pops don't last for too long, right? And then they come back down. You're going to miss out on your on your sells, which I think is a huge waste, right? When we day trade, things has to be quick. And again, I want to say, for those of you guys who have a day job, if you cannot commit the whole day, please, you don't have to. The whole point of day trading is to be done in the morning, and that's it. Especially if you have a day job. You have to remember, day trading, if you have a day job, day trading is supplementary for you. Your main source of income is different from your day job, right? So where should you put your priority? It should be on your day job, right? Not day trading. We take Friday, for example. SkyQ happened in just a couple of minutes. You could be done for the day just like that. Extra money for you guys, right? You don't have to spend the whole day. Okay? Yeah? So you don't have to stay the whole day. I've spoken to so many people saying that, oh, I can't keep up with day trading, I can't stay the whole day. But nobody's telling you to stay the whole day. You don't have to. For me, if I didn't continue trading on Friday or Thursday, like yesterday, right? I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. All right. SkyQ is good. It's 100% move, right? Close to 100% move. I'm done. Why do I have to stay the whole day? Because anyway, I know for sure the next few days is going to give us new setups, right? So I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now you can see the setup is playing itself out, right? I'm just waiting for something to happen. I'm not gonna be in at 272 and sell at 277, right? That's gay, right? That's lame. So I at least want 290 plus over here. So I'm just waiting, right? This is really all you can do. Wait, I cannot control the price action, right? I cannot be like, hey guy, hey, please fucking go up. It's not gonna listen to me. Like I'm in my position. All I can do is just respect the setup. I know my stop loss is on 250, right? So I just have to watch. Okay, because I cannot control the price. And now we wait. Now all we have to do is just wait. Right? If it goes down on 250, I'm ready to close my position. Right? I'm ready to close my position, everything. If it goes up, then I'm willing to sell as well. Right? But I'm not going to sell everything because I like to let it ride. I like to let the potential manifest. I like to have the let the stock increase its efficiency on it. Okay, but while we're at it, again, one more thing I forgot to say, my alerts are not for rinsing. So let's say if I'm in at 275 over here, right? Let's say maybe 4 hours later, from now to 4 hours later, it goes to 4 plus. And then after 4 plus, it goes back to 275. These are not for ads anymore. Unless I say rinse and repeat. But usually rinse and repeat moves are only given because there's consolidation. Right? After the breakout happens, usually when it goes back down to ad zones, I'll tell you guys no. Unless I give you guys an update to do so. Like kind of like what I did with BDRX on Friday. Okay, you can see on BDRX on Friday. On BDRX on Friday, I told you guys, right? We hit 135 and I said same, so long as $1, 1.95 cents whole, fund dips and sell pops, it went to 106, right? And it went to 127 from there. So if I update you guys, fine. If I don't say anything, please don't rinse the alerts. Right? Please do not rinse the alerts. They're there live. They're not for you guys to rinse unless I say so. Okay, and then of course, if I'm out, right, I'm not gonna add back anymore. If I am going to add back in, you will see a fresh alert from me about BDRX. Okay, now let's carry on the demonstration over here for this. Okay, so now I'm just waiting again. See, nothing has really happened over here. I'm still waiting. It's really all you can do, right? Patience, case, it's really all you can do over here. So I'm waiting to sell at least 2,000 shares and whatnot once we get another pop. Now I see, price is looking very strong right now. I want to see a candle close above this over here, right? For extra confirmation for an upside move. Of course, if it doesn't close above this level, then this is now resistance for me because this was previously support. Yeah. So, but I like the fact that the price broke through view up here, broke through view up, retested view up into a bullish engulfing candle. This is very strong price action for me. All right, so I'm okay to just kind of hold on to this for a bit, right? Let it play out. So now I see that it's broken out, right? So the volume is flowing to there. I'm going to start selling some. Look, one click of a button, I sold 2,000 shares. Now, if you guys are using your phone, right? You see this pop up over here. Oh my God, guys, it's time to sell, right? By the time you set the amount, right? You set the price, you make sure everything's fine, you confirm and send. Sometimes these stocks can break out like this and drop. And if you use your phone to execute like that, you're going to miss a sell, right? And you're going to end up having to cut for a loss. For me, I've sold 2,000 shares. I have 3,000 left. If, let's say that really happened and drops back down, I'm ready to just market sell everything to keep myself green. I'm ready to just do that. It's quick. You can see how quick it is. Now I have all the luxury to sell, any amount of shares I want, right? Slowly, right? I see 3. I like that. I'm going to sell some, so on and so forth. You can see it's very quick, right? It's very quick. So that's the reason why I keep stressing to you guys, right? Just because you have a broker like Robinhood or Trading 212 or whatever you guys are using, okay? If you do not have this active trader feature or turbo trader feature, it's not day trading, right? You're not well suited for day trading. You can buy and sell shares, yes. All right, you can do that with any broker out there, even bank brokers. Like I think SoFi they have it. I'm not sure. I'm not from States, right? But even bank brokers, you can buy and sell, but that's not optimized for day trading. Okay, and that's why some of you guys might feel that things are too quick. Well, it could be a couple of reasons. Like I said, you're not used to it, or number 2, your broker, you're not using the right brokers for trading execution. That's what you see. I've sold. All right, now I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for more again. I'm waiting for another pop because you see right now price is basing above this breakout zone, which is nice to see. right? Which is great. It popped up over here. I like this. I'm gonna sell some. You see how fast this is? I don't, every single time I want to sell, all I have to do is just press on button. I don't have to go back to my app. I don't have to go back to the sell button. I don't have to set another amount. I don't have to do that. Right? It's just a click of a button. You can see how efficient and how quick this is. Right? This setup over here is available on Thinkorswim, which is what I use, TWS, IBKR, right? And Webull, as far as I know. I know there are others as well. I haven't used them, so I'm not in any position to say, right? But as far as I'm concerned, the ones that I've used and experienced, right? It's Webull, IBKR, and Think or Swim. Okay, you guys can see how fast this is, right? This is actually what I do as well, when we trade on a day-to-day situation. And then usually I like to do this, right? So obviously, I've um trimmed enough profits to kind of, I would say, usually for example, if let's say I've trimmed enough profits and whatnot to be okay with the day or be okay with whatever I have to leave for runners. So what I would usually do is because right now it's still too close for comfort, right? I don't usually set a stop loss over here. Okay, it's too close for comfort. I'll still watch it manually myself. I like the fact that shorts are trying really hard to push us down, right? But again, my stop loss is 250 because it's still too close for comfort. Okay, I'm still watching to see if VOP's holding though, because that is a key level for me, right? That's a key price level for me. So I'm still watching that. Okay, so I'm letting it play out by itself. Let's fast forward this right now. Maybe 11:51. We'll see how it goes, right? So an hour later. Okay, obviously we have the luxury to do that, but in real life, we're really just watching it, right? And we'll react accordingly after. So 11:41, right now, price is at 280. Sorry, it's not yet. It's uploading. Hold on, 1 second. So right now, price is at 375, right? And I would assume I probably have sold more shares on the way up as well. So I'm down to 1,005 or maybe even 1,000 shares. Now that I've done 1,000 shares, I've secured $2,300 of profits. For me right now, right, this 1,000, I'm probably just going to set my stop loss at my entry. Okay. All right. I'm going to set my stop loss at my entry. All right. 1,000 shares, 272. And the good thing about this setup over here as well is that, look, I go back to my chart, I have a stop loss set over here. All right. I have my stop loss set over here. And now if let's say this thing goes up to 4, 5, 6, right? I don't have to cancel and reset. All I have to do is click on this and drag it up and down to set it for me. This is updated. Right? I move up, this is updated. You can see how quick and efficient this is. Right? You can see how quick and efficient this is. So again, you see, you guys are telling me day trading is quick, right? Yes, it is quick, but having a good setup is going to make things a lot easier for you. Right? Having the proper setup, having the proper broker is going to make things a lot easier for you. Okay? And then usually this amount, if we continue making new highs over here, I'll trim more profits out, right? Maybe I'll take out 200 shares each time right now, and I'll continue running this. Okay? If not, I'll lose my open P&L of 940, but I'll still walk away with $2,000. Yeah, either way, I'm still going to be green over here. Okay? All right, so this is one example of just following one of my alerts over here, right? Now let's talk about breakouts. I need to find a particular breakout play. All right, now I'm going to go through a breakout play. All right, let me pause the recording. I'm going to be going through the Renix breakout right now. Okay, earlier just now what I did was show you guys my entries on, if I took it. Right now I'm going to show you guys how to execute a breakout play. I'm going to show you guys how to execute a breakout play. Okay, so 942, right? 942, 932, sorry. Let's go 931, so we can just reignite the entire thing. So now, I'm watching the Renix 265 breakout, right? So I have my level set over here, 265. So I'm waiting. Now, a breakout play, when I say 265 break, what I'm telling you guys is that I'm taking this when a breakout is confirmed. I'm not in before that. So how do we confirm a breakout? Number one, we watch to see if the candle can breach above 265 and close above that. That is the first thing we want to see. All right, that's the first thing we want to see. Okay, that's the first thing we want to see. Okay, so all we have to do right now is just wait, right? All we have to do right now is just wait over here as we wait for 265 break. Now, you see, most of you guys, if you guys don't understand my alerts, don't read my breakout plays, you guys will think, oh, price breaks 265. Let me add over here. No, we're not adding over here. This is not a breakout because price can always wick and fall back down. So I'm waiting over here. Remember, I'm still waiting, right? Until the breakout is confirmed to be closed. We have 33 more seconds over here. You see that? The timing? Right, because this is the 1 minute chart. It all happened. Remember, the breakouts only happen on the 1 minute chart. Right? That's what my reference is from. So if let's say I have 10 seconds left and I feel like the candle is not going to go below 265, I can still add on this candle. But if it closes 265 on the same minute, then no. Right? But on general basis, right now it's at 258. Right? 2 more seconds before the candle close. Right? Within these 2 seconds, I think it's more or less confirmed that price is not going to go below 265, right? So we can add over here right now if you want. Okay, but if you want to do it, if you want just to really just go through the concept, okay, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for price to close above 265 first. When the next candle opens, I'm adding it. Because that's where the breakout's confirmed. Right? If we go below 265 and whatnot, I'll continue adding dips because what was the plan? Under 235. If I don't say anything, then the stop loss is underneath the breakout level. Okay, so I see more drop, right? Okay, fine. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, and then from here, I'm letting it play out. I'm letting this play out. Right? I'm letting this play out. You can see it's very quick. Using your phone, again, same thing, using your phone. You're going to be missing out on all these actions over here. It's too quick for you to execute. Sometimes. For the AGPU play, that was fine using phone, right? But some plays, especially when we day trade these low floaters, they can be super volatile, right? You can't know which place is going to be okay for phone, which place are not going to be okay for phone. So it's still best to just keep yourself accommodated to all sorts of situation, right? Which is if things are quick. So over here right now, I'm just letting it play out. Right? I'm just letting this play out. Okay, I'm just letting it play out. Whatever happens, happens, right? Let's fast forward this. Let's fast forward this, all right. So over here, we can see that price is moving up pretty quickly and stuff, right? I have 8,000 shares. I'm gonna sell half over here at 3. I'm gonna do it. You can see how quick it is. You can see how quick this is. Again, if you use your phone over here, you might miss this $3 sell because it was so quick, isn't it? You are going to miss this $3 sell. By the time you input all your information over here, price is back down already. Yeah, I didn't sell exactly at 3. I saw at 297, but I don't really care too much about this 3 sets, right? And sometimes these plays may not continue. It may continue going all the way down, and it's such a huge waste. But if not, I'm still in the run over here. I'm letting it do its own thing. Yeah, I'm letting this do its own thing. Because again, I cannot control the price action over here. Right, this is pretty much all I can do right now. Just wait for the sell to go and watch it. Now, since the move has been made, original stop loss is what? 235, right? I could raise my stops to underneath 250 right now, which is the most recent highs. Yeah? I could raise my stops underneath here just to reduce risk, right? To protect that position for a bit. I could do that instead of having it still at 235. Okay? As we continue to play it out, right? Whatever happens, happens. So I'm not gonna try. If let's say I trim at 297, I really wouldn't trim at all anymore until we get higher than 297, right? Unless, of course, it's at a really, really good spot, then, or I see really weak, I have a lot of shares still, I want to offload a bit of risk, that's fine. But if I trim at 297, I'm not gonna trim anywhere below 297, right? My next trims will be at least near 297 or above that. Okay, so you see, now we wait, right? I'm probably gonna raise my stops to under 250 right now. Okay, let it play out, do its own thing, no worries about it. And then when I get the level I want, I could probably sell again, right? I'm really ready. Again, you can see I'm really ready, right? But I'm also ready to close my position if, let's say, this breaks down or loses 250. So okay, but generally this is the gist of how things work, right? When you day trade, okay, I'm fast forwarding this by the way, just so you guys can see it better. But when you day trade, you need a right setup. I always say this, right? When you wanna train for F1, you can't practice by driving in a school bus or a lousy car. You need good, proper facilities and equipment to have the best, I would say, training, a training, you know, experience, right? Same thing, right? You wanna effectively trade, make sure you have the right tools first. Don't even think about technical analysis, yeah? Make sure you have the right tools first. Then you can start to learn how to trade properly. Because even if you learn how to trade properly, but you don't have a good trading setup, you're not gonna be able to catch it, right? Because you're not trading right. You're not training your trading right. So it looks really strong, right? You see long wick, price about to make new highs over here. I'm watching it really close. Price make new highs. Try to sell a bit more over here, right? You can see how fast it is. Okay, you can see how fast this is. If you use your phone, you're definitely gonna be missing out on all this stuff over here. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share. So you guys know the importance of having a good broker right now, right? The next step for you to go do is go have a good broker setup. Again, I cannot speak for everyone else, okay? But if you're from US, we will take a swim. There are great options for you. If you're outside of the US, we will in certain countries have the turbo trader function, right? If not, you can use IBKR desktop and have it set up. It's going to be the same. Okay? All right, but that's only if you want to follow my channel, right? You gotta have the right tools first. You can still try to use it on the phone. I do share my phone sometimes, but because I'm experienced, I know what I'm doing, right? But for those of you guys who are new, much better to do it the proper way before you guys start finding shortcuts. Yeah. But if you don't plan to follow my channel, you want to follow, swings or Joyful Wood day trades, but in the dips kind of style, then you don't need to have my setup. My setup is a little bit more advanced for sure, right? But it is that's how I started learning as well anyway. So if I can do it, you can. I'm not a smart guy, by the way. I didn't even go to university, or I couldn't study in school. Okay, so it's these are the things that you gotta have. Okay, I've shown you guys a live example already. Yeah, on a breakout play, so on and so forth. Okay, same thing if you don't want, you want to follow Joyful, those dip style, Frankie's dip style, then you can use your phone. It's fine. Don't need all that stuff. Okay, talking about that, if you choose to follow one analyst, right, only follow that one person. Right? Don't jump around. Okay, I'll explain to you guys why again over here. The reason why you don't jump around is because every single analyst has their own win rate. Nobody is a 100% win rate trader, right? For example, for me, if I am, let's say I'm trader A, and then Frankie is trader B, right? So this is, let's say, my win rate and my losing rate, right? I have wins, 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 loss, 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 wins, 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 and then loss. And then Frankie is the opposite of mine, for example, right? Okay, so let's say, for example, you follow Frankie first. Let's say you follow Frankie first. Okay, and then you take all losses, but you see me going all wins. Right, so let's say C is you, yeah? So your first tree is lost. Right? You follow Frankie, all losses, and then you follow me, and then and then you see that PBT is winning all the time. The first 3 times PBT is winning. Right? And I'm like, oh, you know what? Since he's winning, let me follow him, right? I've been following Frankie for 3 times, they're all losses. I'm gonna follow PBT right now because they're all wins. And then you follow me, I start my losing already. Because again, no trader's gonna win all the time, right? There will be losses eventually. So that add on to losses over here. And then right now you see Frankie does all wins, and you're like, fuck. Right, let me go back to Frankie right now. You know, I shouldn't follow PBT because he's been losing right now. Let me follow Frankie. And now you go back to Frankie, you're gonna take 3 losses in a row again. Well, now it's 3 wins for me. At this point, you have 9 losses already. And obviously you're gonna be frustrated, right? Like, fuck, 9 losses, and then we go back to PBT. Boom. All losses. So don't jump around. Stick to one analyst, stick to one channel, and follow that particular person all the way. Right? Whatever fits your style. Right? I'm not telling you guys, don't force yourself to follow me if you cannot. Right? You're gonna end up losing money instead. The goal over here is to make money, no matter what you do. Right? So if you cannot keep up with my style for now, practice first before you put actual money inside, while you make actual money from slower, more beginner-friendly channels. Okay? All right, I think I'm done. I'm just gonna. Yes, the recording. Okay, guys. The recording over here is gonna be posted in this. Oh, by the way, all recordings are posted inside here. All right, I'm gonna say that a lot of you guys over here are missing out on what the channel actually provides. Right, all the recordings are posted here. You have your course that you can download PDF files on, right? And all that. There's infographics for you guys to go through, you know, some information to know. There's trading terms. You know, if you guys have any sort of questions, you guys can post it over here and Joyful can reply to you, right? If you guys have any questions, you can tag over here. Oh, it's your yeah, I'm gonna reply to him in a bit. Yeah. And a lot of stuff you guys are missing out. Okay. All right, let me answer. No, so now it's time for the Q&A. Okay, I hope you guys did really take important, I would say, well, information over here and then have questions asked and whatnot. That's the only way for you guys to improve, right? I think it would be super helpful to I think it would be super helpful to go over how you chart when you see some news and the momentum board and add some to the watch list to unviable. Yeah, sure. Okay, so Show Me the Green asks, I think it would be super helpful to go over how you chart when you see some news on the momentum bot and add something to the watch list to identify those breakout points. Unless you have a video already, I already can go check. Now, I'll go through it right now. Right, so the most recent example is SkyQ, so let's talk about that, right? Now, guys, first things first, you have to understand, again, not every single news play is going to pop. This is a fact. Okay, not every single news play is going to pop. You see, like for example, SkyQ. The news didn't happen over here, by the way. It happened over here, but there was absolutely fucking nothing, right? Because there's no volume. Sometimes they just don't go. Right? It depends on a couple of things: market conditions, right, and also market theme. If the market theme is very hot on that particular theme, then news related to that theme will usually send price going up. But if there is no clear theme, that it's really a hit or miss. Okay, so when you take news pops, right? I call it news pops because they're popping off news. There is no clear setup. All you can do is wait for a break of key levels and add it with tight stops and see whether the volume continue pushing this. So we take SkyQ for example, right? We know that the oil names are running. Remember, we know, okay, so SkyQ is a different example, right? Because SkyQ, we know for a fact that oil names are running because of BATL, TURP, TMD. The day before, Trump said we're gonna bomb Iran the hardest for the next 2 weeks. So and because of that, BATL gapped up, right? Because of that, BATL gapped up. Because of that, TURP gapped up. Because of that, TPAT gapped up, right? So we know that at that current point of time in pre-market, okay, the trend is under oil names. And guess what? SkyQ came out with news over here. So what's the news? Right? SkyQ, Nirvana refinery gains strategic value as Brent crude oil surpasses 110. Right? And they highlighted the strategic importance, okay, because this is Nevada's only operating refinery. Okay, but it doesn't matter. basically what they're saying is that what you guys know from now is this is an oil ticker. If you want more extra confirmation, go over to this, this, type SkyQ here. You can see oil and gas integrated, right? Which is energy sector, which is basically what's affecting, well, the well, you can see, right? It's all under the same sector over here, energy. Yeah, solar energy, right? TMD energy, so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, so we know this is part of the market theme. It has a catalyst as well as compared to the rest. So and that means that this is different from BATL, from TMD, from TERP. Because BATL, TMD, and TERP, first off, they was first generation runners. They've ran weeks ago when the Iran escalation first happened, but they're not running on news. But this thing just dropped news. So this sets this apart from the rest of them. Okay, now we know that there's news. First thing we want to do is go and chart our levels. I'm going to start looking at all the potential key levels that I have that I can potentially use. Okay, so I see right over here, we have a gap. I'm going to mark it down first, right? So I don't know. Remember, I don't know. I know that the prices are moving as a gap. I'm going to mark it down first. Over here, I see a lot of support on this line. Okay, I'm going to remove the EMA so it's a lot easier for you guys to see the price section. So there's a gap being formed. This is one of the key levels that I have. I see a lot of support on this line over here, right? I'm going to mark it down small. Okay, you can see this. With this line is a point of interest, right? Usually when price is at this line, it's either as a support or resistance. Okay, if not, it's support, right? If not, it's support. If not, it's support. If not, it's resistance. Okay, so now that I have my lines over here, this is what, 275, right? 275, 273. I like to round it off to 275. I'm going to go back to the 4-hour chart to confirm some stuff. All right. There's not much really, okay, other than the fact that if I were to remove this over here for you guys, you can see that this red line over here is also a pivotal factor in rejecting price. And if I were to draw my line across this right now, see once again, this is 290 at that day. So I'm going to mark it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm going to mark it down right now. 275 is from the first level. And then I'm going to mark 290 down as well. Right? Just in case, I'm going to mark it yellow just to kind of know, I know what I'm looking at. Right? So that I can kind of differentiate what is needed. Obviously, right now, things seem slow because I'm trying to explain to you guys the thought process. But usually when I do it, it's just like boom, boom, boom. That's it. I don't have to explain anything, right? So it's quick. Yeah? So now I have my level set. We go back to where it's at. Right? So usually it'll take me a while to kind of process this stuff over here. Right? Usually it'll take me a while to kind of process this stuff over here. So I see, the price action is basing above this, still very choppy, right? But I clearly see right now, it's a level that the daily level don't even need to give me, right? It's the intraday resistance zone over here where price is just rejecting this level a lot. You see, price is very choppy between the zones over here, right? Very choppy between the zones that we established. Okay, but price is very clearly rejecting over here on the intraday level. So when price breaks out over here, right, with a very strong kind of breakout, I could potentially just take my entries on this 323 and have my stop loss in the $3, right, which is VWAP, or 310, up to you. But let's say you missed out on this, right, because it's choppy over here because volume, it wasn't that great. Yeah. But as we start to break out, as volume starts to stabilize, increase, then you can look for the next level. Because I wasn't around. I just got home and this thing happened. I couldn't alert in time. So what do I have to do? I have to give you guys the next key structure for a breakout. I'm not going to tell you guys, oh, look for $3 dips. That's not going to happen if price is going to go. We have to look for a higher time frame structure. And when I trade this structure over here, 375 breakout, stop loss on 350, do I really care about all these levels over here right now? No. I care about this and this only. Because that's my plan. So I'm not having wide stops or huge risk. It's the same as how you would take it over here. Right? 330, stop loss under 310, 20 cents risk. 370 break, Stop loss on 350, 20 cents risk. There is no difference. Okay? Sets backdoor to OpenAI. I don't know what that means. What does this mean? I don't understand. Your biggest problem is when I see your alert and the pull up the ticker, the price can already have been moved fairly significantly. I think I've just talked about that just now at the start of the video. I didn't hesitate to get in because I think the move is already done. Blah blah blah. Okay, so Stefan, right? I don't look for small moves. Okay, I don't look for small moves. All right, and I did say, okay, if you join in late, right, watch the video later. I told you guys 3 things to how to follow my channel best. One of the things is you having the right broker, which I've showed you guys just now here already. Yeah. Right. So, and again, I don't look for small moves. I'm not selling. Look, Stefan, you have to understand. If I alert at 259 and the 259 candle pop, I'm not going to sell into you guys. I don't sell into the candle alert. I've said this many times before. Right. But don't wait for pullback. Start some first and leave some room for pullback. You don't have to add everything. Right. You don't have to add everything. RR is risk to reward, not rinse and repeat. Yeah. No, basics just basically means buying at $1, selling most at 115, 120. Right. So you're not really looking for like the big moves, right? You're looking for like basic moves because maybe market conditions a little bit slow. And it will happen, guys, right? Now the market's still pretty hot recently, but I'm telling you guys right now that the market will slow down. This is a guarantee. Okay. And that is not the time you guys should leave because this is usually how the market cycle is like for small caps. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I've been here for 5 years. I've seen all kinds of things, but I can tell you guys though, I won't guarantee anything in the stock market. The only thing I can guarantee you guys is that the runners 100% will come back when things are slow. Right? It's just usually it's like that. Right? Market heats up. After market heats up, the next thing for this to go, it can't keep going up forever, right? It needs to pull back, right? And then it heats up again and then pulls back. So it's cyclical, right? So recently, I would say that the market's pretty hot. I don't know how much further it's going to go, but this part of dropping, right? Basically, the small caps being slow, where sometimes you maybe only get 20% of the top gainers 20%. It will happen, and that's where we have to focus on base hits. Okay, remember guys, in a hot market, anybody can be a genius, right? Because you cannot do no wrong. Buy high, sell higher. Buy high, sell higher, right? But in a slow market is where things get tested. And I've been here a long time. I've showed you guys that you guys can do it in a slow market as well. Okay, it's all about perspective and how you manage your trades and your greed, and understanding and adapting to the market conditions. Most people I know that are gamblers that only come here thinking they're gonna make quick money. They see a big move happen, they sign up. But again, like I said, usually big moves happen, you're already too late, right? Market slows down, they're like, shit. Every time when I trade things slow, I'm just unlucky. It's not. It's because you guys are not staying through or following through when the market's slow. You guys are only coming in when the hype is there. But by the time you see the hype is there, it's already too late. Yeah, it's already too late. Okay, right? You should stay when the market's slow, focus on practicing execution, right? Because whether the market is hot or slow, the way I trade do not change, right? Because I did tell you guys many times before, I don't control the price action of the market. All I can control is my risk management and how I execute my trades. Whatever happens depends on the market. So no matter whether the market's high or low, I always trade the same way. So if I trade the same way, the market goes up, good for me. If not, the risk is always small. I'm not like coming in when the market's hot, then slows down, like, oh fuck, the market's not for me, you leave, right? And then you see the market being hot again, it's like, oh, this time's gonna be different. It's not different, right? You never change the way you do things. It won't be different. Things won't be different. look, guys, how to set up the TOS broker. Again, these are all information I've provided for you guys. I won't show you right now because it's gonna take time, right? But if you just go over to trading onboarding and click on this, right? This video is gonna show you how to set it up. It's gonna show you how to set it up. All right, it's gonna show you how to set it up. All the information you guys need is over here already. A lot of you guys just don't read it. Sorry, I'm not. When you say if the candle closes at 283, I still not buying it and wait for the next candle again. I don't understand. What do you mean? In what context are you talking about over here? After hours and pre-market trading, my broker only allows limit orders change. No, no, all brokers only allows all brokers only allows limit orders in after hours and pre-market. Stop loss do not work, right? In outside trading hours. So you may have to manually watch your position. What's the CPU and RAM specific? Man, this one I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. Let me see. I just asked my friend to assemble a computer for me, so I'm not. Hold on, let me check. I'm not too sure about this. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I might have to get back to you on that. Let me see. My RAM is 16 gig. I don't know if it's Intel or AMD, man. I don't know. My RAM is 16 gig. Oh, my processor is AMD Ryzen 7 8-core processor, whatever. Is data service from broker recommended? That's if you need it, right? If you're following the alerts, probably not. But if you want like the level 2 data and whatnot, then sign up for it, You primarily use NewtonBot to find your tickers. Yes. I use NewtonBot to find my tickers because that is a scanner. That is a scanner that I've put my money and time inside to kind of configure the settings for you guys. Okay, you can sign up for a volume and news scanner outside, but you have to pay extra $100. Usually they cost at least around $100 a month if you want to find one outside. And after that, you gotta set it up yourself. No, you have to you have to set up your own filters and settings to make it effective and efficient. Because if not, it's gonna show you news on Nvidia, things that you don't need to know when you day trade small caps. Do you not use 24-hour levels with your daily plus of hours? Okay, levels. I do. I use pre-market and after hours level. No, daily chart don't show pre-market and after hours levels. But if I go to the 4 hours, then I'll use it. Yeah, the candle close, right? I show you the example for it. Go over to VIP onboarding and click on this and watch this video. Okay, I think I showed you guys a live example just now. That couldn't have been any clearer. I literally just showed you guys where I bought it. That explains if you buy after the break of 280 and the price went up to 297, why are you selling the half? It's just 17 cents up. No, you can do that if you want, but remember, I'm trading based on the chart and I'm selling half, right? You can't say that it's only 17 cents up because if it continues going up, right, then 1 to 1 might become 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Because that's just how I do it. Right? That's just how I do it. Because I don't trade based on like the risk reward. I trade based on what the chart is saying. Of course, sometimes you can't really just get it, right? There is no perfect way of doing it because small caps has so many different alternatives and manipulation, right? And volume rotation, right? It's very difficult to have a very textbook setup sometimes. You say wait for candle close above 280 and then buy the next candle. Okay, I'm going to show you an example again. So Renex, the alert. $32 is the alert is 265 break. Okay. Now, if you have a good broker, you will have a timing over here. Now, because this is the 1 minute chart. Okay. So I know for sure, for a fact, that if this thing were to close above 265, I know what is the timing to look out for. So right now I'm watching a chart as the price plays out. And I did tell you guys there's some tips and tricks for you guys to do. If you feel within the last 5 or 10 seconds, price is not going to go below 265 on that breakout candle, which is this, right? The candle that's about to break out. You can add it before it closes. Not right now, because there's 30 seconds. A lot of things can happen within 30 seconds. Yeah? A lot of things can happen within 30 seconds. But within the last 10 seconds, okay, if you feel like the candle is not going to go below 265 within the last 10 seconds, which is right now, you can always add it before the candle closes. But once the candle closes above this 265, breakouts confirm. You add it or you add off the dips, doesn't matter. Right? Basically, you add once the candle closes above. Do you understand now, Dai? It doesn't matter. You can add dips after if you want. So long as price stays above 265 or above the stop loss level. No broker can set stop loss in pre-market. Okay? No broker can set stop loss in pre-market. Selling 50% at a 10% in pop is too early for your place, right? Oh no, it really depends. If I'm in at $1, it hits 110, I might sell some, maybe not 50, maybe 30%. I learned this from other analysts, so that's what I've been doing. No, okay, guys, different analysts is different style. I'm not trying to shit on any other analysts, or unless they're pumping plays, but different analysts got different styles. Okay, but for me, I trade the chart and I try to get to 1-to-1, but because of my strategy of not selling everything on the way up, and because I don't like I don't like to trade, micro trade. I like to really focus on one particular style that has potential to continue going, right? Remember, as much as possible, sometimes it may not work out. I have to just close my position. That's fine, right? But I will move on to something else after. Okay, and then if let's say it does play out, even though yes, right now maybe it's a 1 to 0.7 risk to reward, but because I leave some shares on the way up, that 1 to 0.7 may become 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Do you have a preferred pattern to trade? Ascending and descending, ascending, falling wedge, these are all pretty easy to spot and that can happen every single day. What do you see here that tells you to sell at 297? No. I'm just giving an example, right? But if you look at the daily chart for Renex, there is a strong, there's a gap over here that starts at 304. See that? All the way to like 414. So, and then over here, there's a lot of resistance as well at 291. You see, right? You see that? A lot of resistance over here. So near those levels between those two zones is where you can start to sell some. Because that is resistance on the daily chart, where rejection happens most of the time. I don't use the level 2 data as much as I should, Scratch. So I can't really answer that for you. Give an example of a gap. I just showed you one here, this one. Between two candles. All right, by the way, the gap only consists between two consecutive candles. Yeah, this and this, you draw a gap like that, it doesn't make it. No, it's not. It's not a gap. Okay, the gap only works with it's only counted from the two back-to-back candles. All right, you can't use this and this to form your gap. No, it's this and this. It has to be back-to-back consecutive candles. Is the gap only relevant before being filled? After being filled, it can be relevant as well. You guys want to see something special? Look at this. Let me show you guys something. So COCP on Friday. Okay. Do you see this over here? This is a gap, right? You guys see this? Okay, you guys see this over here? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Now go over to the 1 minute chart in pre-market. Do you guys see what happened? It's nice, isn't it? You missed out this move. Look at this. It's nice, right? And after that, what did the gap act as? Support. Yeah, that's not really a gap to me. That's not really a gap to me. There has to be void of action. You can see, look at this. You can't make this shit up, right? You can't make this shit up. So no, it's just basically an area of interest. It's not a breakout level, it's an area of interest where price may do something over there. No, it's not true. All right. Price may not fill the gap. It may fill the gap. There's no guarantees. Remember, there's no guarantees in the market. Price will try to fill the gap, right? At least you know that there's potential for that. Um, but at least you know there's potential for that. Yeah, you can if you want. There's nothing wrong with it, right? You see the wicks coming in off the gap support, right? So you know that buyers are still defending this level over here, right? You can take your entries on this candle at 158 and have a stop loss on the 146. Still a nice move. I wouldn't exactly add it just because you see price going to the gap, right? But if you see candles forming, buying pressure coming in, candles popping, it's like, oh, you know what? Buyers supporting this level. Let me add some over here, right? Or you can wait for the downtrend breakout for extra confirmation, right? And add it over here and have a stop loss under 148, 147. That's fine. Okay, last question, guys. I gotta go. Demand zone, I don't really use this as much, but I think they're important. If for that, right, is because CYCN is a news pop setup. You don't usually want to wait for pullbacks and stuff, especially when it comes to news pop, because it's the first volume hitting the day. It's the first volume hitting the day, right? It won't move very quick. It's the first volume hitting the day. It won't move very quick. It's a news pop setup. It's fresh, low volume, low daily average volume. It's a low floater, right? It's gonna move very quickly if volume hits, because it's the first few candles of the day. All right, I gotta go. All right, I gotta go. I mean, it's been an hour. Again, I do this every single week. So, you guys have any questions, come back again after. And we'll see you guys. on Friday. I mean, on Monday. All right. Cheers.